Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while, but there have been some really big changes and I just had to voice my opinion on some of them. The biggest one, Serene Coast, has been changed. As a guy that makes map reviews, I am very interested in the changes. And I'm kind of just making this video to voice some of my concerns. From what I've seen on social media, there are quite a few people that do not like the changes. I don't really like them either. But instead of just saying that I don't like it and therefore it's bad, I kind of wanted to give a little bit more constructive feedback and kind of show from a more tactical aspect why I don't like the changes. I think that what they've done with the map is that they have killed off a lot of positions that are now just pretty useless, and that the most important position on the map is now just one position, which is the middle. So we're not going to look too much into this replay. I have two other ones that are a little bit better. And we're just going to hop into those right now. But before we do that, I'm just going to go on the Wargaming patch notes sites to talk a little bit more about the changes there first. So let's take a quick look at what the patch notes say. So in update 2.2.1, the most recent one as of this moment in time, Wargaming reworked two maps, Serene Coast included, of course. Empire's Border, good changes, just nothing to complain about. They introduced Klondike, which I've played on once, so huge pog. But Serene Coast, which is the one we want to talk about. So Serene Coast has had absolute massive changes, and we'll go into a little bit more into the replays, but this is just like getting like a quick overview. So this is old Serene Coast. Nothing really to complain about. And then we have this upper part here. So how it used to be, and you'll see this in the replay as well, is that you have this flank, you have the top of the hill, so you capture the top of the hill, yay, good job. And then you want to push down, but you cannot push down because you'll just drive into a ton of tank destroyers. Okay, fair enough. Same from the other side, you capture the hill from this side, you want to push in, but you can't, there's tank destroyers. Okay, whatever. If you've seen my map review, you'll know that you can push down into the dip and you can kind of like outspot the TTs if you're like a sneaky light tank or maybe a medium with CVS or whatever. You can kind of play around it. But after the changes, you can't, because there is no cover for you here. So if a tank destroyer sits in these bushes and does like some double pushing shenanigans or something, you're completely exposed driving down here, even more so than the previous previously, because you don't have a ridge that covers you on the side. Same on this side, there isn't a dip here, so if you drive down, you get completely nuked here. Just going quickly over it, sorry. Before, you know, general middle area, kind of risky to go to, difficult to get out of, kind of like standard wargaming map design here. After, big mountain. We added big mountain and big tunnel. Yeah, I want to say more right now, but I just want to save it for the game. Camping locations, they've removed some rocks. They didn't do that much with these locations. There was more cover here, but they just kind of narrowed it down. I don't really know why, but okay. Same on this side. They just added some bushes here and made this position better. But apart from that, nothing much. And then this flank as well. It's just... They said in the trailer, I don't know what they said exactly, but something like, oh, we have turned this into like a more sniper heavy flank or something. I don't know, man. Like, just put like a giant body of water in the middle of the flank here, it just makes it even more difficult to push, which is not really what you want, I think. What you want is the map to be engaging and people to be able to, you know, actively progress forward. Because if you have like giant open areas, or too many of them, you'll create a stalemate. And that's something that Serene Coast did not have. It did not have stalemates like 98% of the time. So yeah, that was just like quick thoughts. Let's just get into the replays. Okay, so here we are driving out on the new Serene Coast. Wow, insane. What are we met with? Mountain. We're gonna do a lot of pauses here. I'm sorry. I just need to get it out of my system. So, in the intro, if I remember to put it in, you'll see that I play the gorilla and I drive through the tunnel. There is like a little... There is like a little area here that you can get to. This is useless. So this is not an early game position. This road is literally just here for you to be able to maneuver up and down during that like mid or end game scenarios. Because you get absolutely nuked from this area. So just don't go here. So, and also, if I were to keep pushing further, I push into the tunnel and then I'm stuck because people are gonna, you know, shoot me here from like a million different angles. And then if I think like, this doesn't look that good, I want to go back, I have to cross this, and then people will know that I'm crossing here, and they will be able to nuke me in the side as well. Same from this side, but not as much, to be honest. Still, like, further testing is required. These are just like initial impressions most of the time. But what I wanted to show you is that Hill is officially dead, because there are some people that are still experimenting with the map, and they're thinking, you know what, I'm gonna check out my favorite position in B1 or C1. Tra-la-la-la-la. Wow, he had such a fun game going to C1, guys. Man. What a gamer. So, this is my first point here. And it's just that this ramp here is ruined. Why would you do this? This is terrible game design. Like, I am a TD with, like, relatively decent mobility. I'm gonna go here in every single game that I play from this map onwards. Because of this. If people just keep crossing here, like they're playing, you know, the old Serene Coast, they're gonna get absolutely hammered. Like, this guy's game is over. Like, we have an RT, the RT is looking here, of course, because RT is RT, and, like, he's just useless now. Okay, cool. What used to be the case here is that there was a ridge. There was a ridge line alongside here, so that you could drive up without getting shot. Maybe you would get spotted, because, like, your cupola is sticking out, but you would not be able to get shot by TDs camping in the back. Only if you would, you know, spot somebody on the middle, only if you would peek over yourself and try to get a shot on maybe like an EBR zooming through the middle of the map or something, then you would get punished, right? So it's kind of like up to you if you want to take the risk to get some early damage on like an aggressive scout or whatever. But now it's just like, yeah, okay, we're gonna go C1 and we're gonna lose 90% of our HP, and yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. So, and I think it's from the other side as well, because there is a bush here. I haven't gone here yet, but there is an angle here where you can shoot this, and I think you can just do it from here. Yeah, you can just sit here And this little like bump in the terrain shields you from, you know, most of the people here. So you can just sit here. And there's a perfect angle for you to shoot mediums from here. So you spawn in your Vickers or your DBV or whatever. And just zoom up here. La 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 la. Bush location. Boop. Shoot. Okay, cool. So unless you're like an insanely quick tank, you're not gonna be able to reach C1 undamaged, I think, or unspotted at least. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the hill later in this replay, I think, but still, it's just yeah. So the Concept 5 was able to arrive there, and my Ares kills the Coco. The Concept gets spotted because he has no way to kind of like fall back. He only has to rely on foliage. So yeah, and I'm just a TD. Tra la 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 la. Okay, have your HP gone. Nice, thank you. And the thing is that he didn't make like an aggressive peak, right? Like he just wanted to drive up. So yeah. Concept also got spotted again. Boom, 90% of your HP gone. Man, how fun. How are my mediums doing at least? Yeah, they're also getting shots. Man, wow. Crazy. Sorry, like, I'm maybe taking it a little bit too far, but I just want people to understand that, like, I don't dislike maps because, oh man, the class of vehicle I'm playing on it currently is really unfit for this map, right? Because if I get, you know, Himmelsdorf in a Leopard 1, for example, right? Like, it isn't the optimal map, but I know that Himmelsdorf is an okay map, right? Generally speaking. And with other reworks, like Erlenberg rework, by the way, I think it's kind of a side grade, but it's still new. It's still refreshing. It still has new areas to learn and keep people like me engaged in, you know, trying different positions, finding new early game shots and quirky angles and stuff like that. I really enjoy that. So that rework is completely fine with me, right? Even though it's maybe a little bit... Yeah, okay. We'll get into that later. But with Serene Coast, the thing is that it was a good map. This was just a good map. And this is not a side grade. It's just a literal downgrade. Because this area here is now completely controlled by this position and this position right here. And I just wanted to showcase this game because, yeah, obvious reasons I hope. So trying to run away, boop, okay. And this is what I mean, but like these mountains in the middle, it just creates a massive cluster of vehicles. Like, do you see anybody playing on any other places of the map? Like, the drawback isn't at the 279 and the M4 here. They're not thinking like, oh, well, let's go down to the sniper heavy flank. No, why would they? And the sniper heavy, or the sniper tanks, like me, are thinking like, yeah, well, let's... If there's nobody there, then I'm not gonna go there. And also, I could just go to these positions here and get like super easy peak shots here. Especially if you have like giant alpha damage, like the DBV. You thrive in these scenarios. Peeking around corners with foliage and hardcover is what you do best. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just kind of driving around here. I want to see... I'm literally just like experimenting with the map a little bit. And I want to see what kind of different angles exist. So here, unfortunate miss. I noticed the DBV down from the old sniper location. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it more in the next replay that I have. But mainly here, I'm just going to focus on the middle here. So essentially what I think they've done with this map is that they've made it so that every single area is playable. You know, how C1 was playable, the heavy flank was playable, the middle, not my favorite part of the map, but it had its purpose, right? You wanted to go middle to kind of outspot and outplay camping TDs in like light tanks and stuff, like I said. So here, I thought I have cover, but I don't. So I have to hug this tiny rock, and I have to rely on my camo right now to not just get annihilated. And I just lost 90% of my HP. Was it a misplay? Yeah, sure, but like just look at this. Like, you capture hill or you flank around and you sit here. Look how open it is to this A7 position. Like, it's so much worse than before. Before you could kind of like sneak under their gun line going over here, or maybe go into one of these like dips. The dips are completely removed here. Like, it's just non-existent basically. So when you want to push down here, you can't. You literally cannot, because both for this corner and for A7, you're just gonna get absolutely annihilated. So you would have to go on the low ground. But if you go on the low ground, again, if there's like one person here with a little bit of gun depression, they just completely counter this. And it's so flat. There is no more like a bathtub, right? Like I mentioned in the map review, I called this like area previously like a bathtub. There is no more bathtub for you to kind of shield yourself in. It's all just flat area, and I think that if you sit here, you can 100% like create some funky angles through these buildings here. Like, it's just, yeah. So anyway, I find myself in quite a big predicament here. My Cocodrillo drove 10 meters further forward and he just got blown up. And yeah. Oh, here goes my Progetto. Let's see. Let's see if he gets spotted. Oh. Oh, man. Ah, what a shame. Let's just get this shot off. Man, what a shame. Ah, he almost had him. He almost had the 5 enemies camping in the back. And like, what should he have done? Like, sure, this was a poor decision, right? Like, this was just dumb. But again, it's a new map. Everybody's experimenting, just trying stuff out. But this is like, there is negative cover here. You're just serving up your HP on a silver platter. So what should he have done? Well, he should have just gone here. But then the I7 is here, and you know, you're just at a massive disadvantage here. So you're again forced to just play the middle and not push this flank at all. So yeah, I'm getting blind fired. I'm kind of scared. I want to make a run for it. The game is over. This is not like an exceptional, like, super carry game or whatever. Again, this is just to kind of showcase whatever this is. I'm thinking, okay, well, I cannot push that, like, ever. Which I am completely aware that you could not push it before either. Like, the enemies have, like, a super goated setup there. But there was a chance, right? You had a chance to maybe outspot somebody or, you know, be aggressive if you have a little bit of camo and a little bit of knowledge. But now it's just impossible. I feel, at least. Still, these are super early days here, but yeah, it's not looking good, at least. So yeah. E4 is pushing into the base. This would have happened in the old map as well. Nice little double bush in front of the tree that was standing up right there. And talking about a little bit about this position as well, there was a corner here, this corner here, where you could sit in a TD, like an SCRV for example, and you could shoot to the top of the hill. The hill is now in B1 instead of C1, so yeah. But you could shoot up here. And it was kind of annoying, but it wasn't... I never felt like it would hold me back. Like, if we're winning with, like, overwhelming numbers, I don't feel like, you know, one TD here would be that much of an issue, because there are, like, bumps in the terrain. But this is just, like... It's so open. Like, yeah, sure, they added, like, a million bushes, but... I don't really feel like it matters. And then you have this position here. This is just tank destroyer heaven. Like, holy. One person sitting here, spotting this, with other people sitting behind. It's just like, nah. And again, if you push down, no rocks to hide behind whatsoever. And people from the middle can just rotate. They could just go around here, or, again, shoot you from the position on the hill to blast you driving down. So, to me, this is upsetting, because this part of the map is kind of like the northern part of Corellia now, where you can go there and you can contest it, but if you cross to like a little gap, you bleed tons of HP, depending on how many people are aiming there. Usually a bit, so it's like, you know, 700 HP, 800 HP that you're losing. And it already doesn't make it worth going there, because if you go here, lose half your HP on this crossing, you go here, and no other enemies approach you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do nothing. Like, what are you gonna push down? You're gonna push down into 500 million TDs or into a massive crossfire from mid? No, you're not. So, yeah. Anyway, this position looks super strong though. You can oversee the cap circle as well a little bit here. So, yeah, just a very campy spot. Which I like. This bottom mountain here, next to the cap circle where the 261 is, that was fine, right? Like, it was a strong defensive position, but you could still kind of like drive into it underneath their gun lines, which gave you the possibility to, you know, outspot them for your teammates who are shooting from the back, and stuff like that. But yeah. But again, you can counter this position if you, again, if you capture middle. Gonna sneak in a shot here on the bedshed. Nice. Are we double bushing? We get spotted. We're 1 HP. And we get picked up by the DPV. So, yeah. Alright, so, rolling out. Opposite spawn as well. And we're gonna go 9-0. We're gonna take our sniper TD to the sniping spot. We're not just gonna go to this location here where we can just, you know, shoot people across from us, or we can get easy shots on the mediums crossing to the hill, and then just keep peeking a bush with hard cover. No. We're not gonna do any of that. We're gonna go to the sniper flank. Oh yeah. So, the sniper flank. What used to be the heavy flank is it's a ghost town. I have not seen anybody go here. Like, I must be Neil Armstrong because I'm the first person to set foot on this place. So yeah, literally just experimenting. That's why I went here. And I have one I7 with me who's pinging for help. So I'm gonna be trying to support him. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here, so if you think that, man, Terra, you're sitting in a terrible position, I'm sorry, I don't know any better. So what I was thinking here is that, can I get shots on middle? Can I influence the most important position in the game. And I'm sorry, just really quickly have to know where this Type 71 is sitting. Because I think that he was sitting in a really dumb spot. Yeah. What are you gonna Why are you sitting there? This guy is gonna keep peeking here throughout this game. And I was like, that is an interesting position. But now that I see it from his perspective, this is the dumbest spot I've ever seen. Like, you're just peeking into a light tank and 5 billion TDs. Okay. I thought I was aiming here. I think he was sitting here. But he wasn't. He was just... Okay. Yep. Cool. Ah, now my render distance is gone. My render distance ends kind of like where the Rheinmetall and the Type 71 is. So I cannot see like the Conqueror spot and all of these other positions here. So yeah. Why am I looking for shots in the middle? Well, the middle, at least now, is the most important position in the map. It's just... That's just the way it is. As I said earlier, B1 is... It's just not important. If you lose it, the worst thing the enemy can do... No, wait. The best thing the enemy can do is push. So, yeah, losing it doesn't matter. No tactical advantage to having it. Paid action, perhaps? Padding my kill rate? Thank you. But yeah, there is a Conqueror peeking this position, and this was the spot that I showed now with the free cam earlier. It's like you peek up on the right side, and I can shoot him. I think I maybe try to get a shot on him right now. Yeah. Like, if he keeps peeking there, I can shoot him. But you can also shoot him from the Gorilla 15 position. That's the guy who just shot him right now. And you can just shoot him from here. And this is way, way better, because if you lose the middle of the map, you can just rotate to A7 and then just start blasting people pushing into you. So, why is this church here? Well, it's to counter the heavies pushing. So, ignore this Type 71, like, that spot is just, like... You should not go there. But anyway, my I7 and my Ares are... driving across the bridge, and that is kind of like a side objective that I had. I really wanted to drive across the bridge. So here, my I7 is pushing over, but their I7 is also pushing over, and there is a DBV in the back. I'm obviously going for the more dangerous target here. Very, very good. And this isn't that much different, but I just feel like it's worse, right? Like, it's just bad. Why is it bad? Well, this position here has not been changed. Neither have these, but it's not as bad from this side. It's mostly worse from this side. So, these tank destroyer positions are super strong. Because you can sit in a bush here, and you have a little bit of a ridge. I think you can double bush here as well with some of these trees. And you can just blast everything here. Look how little cover there is. And again, if you try to push across, middle can just turn around and shoot you here. So, it's just... super dangerous to push here. You see my I7 drove forward, lost a ton of hit points, and there's just one tank destroyer here at this point. So, you know. Their I7 is pushing forward, and it's such a disadvantage. It's just... yeah. It's not very good. Like, if I'm a heavy tank, I do not think that I want to be going here. And if I'm a sniper TD, if there are no heavy tanks that go here, what am I gonna snipe at? Am I gonna snipe at, you know, other TDs sitting in bushes, and we're just gonna sit and blind fire the entire game? And if you're a light tank, there is no incentive for you to try and spot this, because there are no light tank positions whatsoever. There's no like aggressive bushes that you can take. Like, you could sit in these trees, but you're not gonna outspot people sitting all the way in the back here. So yeah, it's 10-3. The game is over. I think I get like one more shot on something, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. So what I decided to do here, actually, is I'm just gonna explore the map. Because I'm curious as to what you can do here. So here I thought you have hardcover, you have a bush, you can, you know, peek on heavy tanks here, but the DBV is very low profile, so already me struggling to fit behind this rock is not a good sign for heavy tanks. Maybe you could go like hold down here, but again, middle can just, you know, plop shots into you. And also, where are you gonna go from this rock? You're gonna go down here and just, you know, get blasted in the side by people playing this position? I don't think so. You're not gonna drive across the bridge, because bridges just suck. They are always massive bait traps for World of Tanks players. If you drive across them, it's usually not a good idea. Here I was thinking, maybe some bushes. Maybe this is like a aggressive position you can rush into with like an I7 or something, but I think you need gun depression to play these positions as well. Then I was thinking maybe this is like an aggressive DBV exclusive STRV fast tank destroyer location, but it's way too far forward. Like, you would already get spotted like here, and then crossing, take damage here, and then be here. The bushes are bad, you just exposed. You would, yeah, I would totally get spotted here, I know, but like, exposed to people just sitting in the base doesn't look very appetizing. And maybe drive across that water. I'm just not sure. So yeah. So Serene Coast. What do we do about it? Well, a wise man once told me that you're not allowed to complain about stuff without offering some advice. So that's what I'm gonna try to do here. First and foremost, if you have a flank, the way it's usually made is that you have your spawn location, and then you have a very long drive from both sides, and then you arrive at like a central spot where you know, fight other enemies, and then you win that location, and then that location, you can use it to get an advantage over the rest of the map. Kind of. In like a perfect world, that is like kind of how we look at it. But what you do not want is that people get punished while driving into that location. Like, there are some maps where it kind of works, but this is just way too much. Like, it's so easy for people to get into this position that I showcased here in earlier in this replay, that it's just, no, it just completely cancels out this part. So what is the best thing you could do? The best thing you could do is to revert the changes. Just come out with like a statement on Discord or Reddit or wherever, and just tell people like, hey guys, we kind of misjudged the changes to Serene Coast. We're gonna revert them. You would get a massive thumbs up from the community, and your own karma would be kind of a net neutral, because you ruined it and then you fixed it, and then, you know, you're back to square one. That would be, in my opinion, that would be the best. And then maybe if you want to have a mountain in the middle, sure, fine, but I think it needs another year or two in the oven. All right. There are so many maps in the game that desperately need reworks, or changes at least, like Berlin, Paris, Karelia in my opinion, and Mountain Pass. Like, I'm just waiting for you to add a map event to Mountain Pass where you just drop a nuke on it. Like, it It's just so bad. But anyway, advice. Northern flank. You need some form of cover here. Whether that's trees and bushes or just a big ridge, whatever you want, something, because people need to arrive to the central position without taking just free damage, like this cocodrillo that is gonna cross here in like 2 seconds. Like, you cannot just blow up because you want to play on a certain position on the map. That is just not how it should work, right? Ideally, you would just remove this lower part and just kind of like attach it to these mountains and just have like a big platform here with like ridges and stuff like that. Like, just have the hill that you had on old Serene Coast, but just make it bigger so it's a little bit more flexible and stuff. And then have some rocks in the way where these people cannot shoot you for free. But if you win the position, have some rocks, like this one over here. This is kind of a good example. A rock, a bush, and you can shoot this and maybe this for free, right? So if you win the position, you can then expose yourself and maybe shoot the people that were trying to shoot you, right? Pretty good solution, pretty self-explanatory. The minimum thing here is that you don't want people to blow up if they are just trying to approach the central location. As for the heavy flank, or I'm sorry, the new sniper tank destroyer flank, it needs to be easier to push. I can get that this flank is tricky to push because you have lots of tank destroyer positions in the back from both sides. So maybe this can be like a little bit of a TD holding area in a way. But I think that there has to be a flank that you can push aggressively and it rewards you without flanking the middle. Because if you decide to keep the mountains in the middle, it is going to be the most important position on the map. It's centralized, it's elevated, lots of bushes, lots of covers, lots of angles. It's just, you need a way to influence it. It cannot just be the best position in the entire game. Because as you see in this game, my entire team is playing the middle, which is kind of boring. So, how do we influence it? We influence it by giving people an opportunity, like, you know, fast heavies, aggressive mediums, maybe even light tanks to some degree, to give them an opportunity to go around the position. And this is not the way to do it. Adding just giant bodies of water here just removes playable area, which I think is a bad thing. And if you make a flank that is only for TDs, only TDs will go there. So if I am going to sit next to this church in a DBV, and another DBV is going to sit here in these bushes, what's going to end up happening? Well, nothing. It's just going to be a stalemate, because the one who pushes has no cover in the middle. My suggestion is that you need to nerf this position right here. I have always believed that this flank is quite unbalanced. It's way easier to push into this space than it is into this space, just because of this tank destroyer spot in the back right here. So maybe make it so that there are very few bushes, so it's easier to blind shot or something. Just or maybe add some rocks without bushes so that you can get outspotted. So if you peek, you're in risk of taking damage. Or just, remove it. I don't think it adds that much. Or nerf it, that it's lower to the water and it's more of like an island like this one. I don't feel like this island is a problem usually, because if you go there, you are very, very, very dedicated to this position. Because if this gets pushed, you're kind of stuck on this island and it kind of sucks. But this position, super safe, super easy shots, loads of bushes. You can just sit here and snipe on heavies pushing all day, every day. So, yeah. You need more cover here. Again, it needs to be its own little area. Maybe lift up this like outer ridgeline, have like a big ship or something. I know you like big shipwrecks, so just add one like here or whatever. And just have it kind of be its own little space, disconnected from this. You can still have tank destroyer positions like here and here, shooting the middle. I think that's good because it influences this like essential position. So that's good. But there needs to be an active way to progress this flank. As for the middle, I had an earlier recording where I actually came up with like a couple of good ideas, and one of them was to give you more flat playable area. So I was thinking maybe just cover up the tunnel and have this little road go up on the side here so that you can get up from, you know, the low ground. And then just remove this hill, have this be like a flat area with like cover in between, like some big rocks in the middle or something. So that if you're like a Taschenratte or like a side scraping heavy or something, just like something that doesn't have camo and cannot fit in these like tiny bushes here, that you can still kind of like brawl and side scrape and stuff like that. So just again, giving more playable area. Because this tunnel, as I mentioned earlier, it's not the way to go. It's just like you push through and then what? You're at a complete disadvantage here on both sides. So yeah, it's not very good. And yeah, maybe lower it by like a little bit. Just all this terrain has to be a little bit lower to the ground. So that this hill is the highest spot on the map and you can shoot down on people. Kind of like, you know, old Serene Coast, but but to just give this more importance, make it worth me losing 60% of my HP to be able to claim this area so that I can just farm everybody in the mid then. Like, I need a carrot on my stick here and all I'm getting is a stick. So yeah, Serene Coast. I am very curious to hear what other people have to say about this. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe a ton of people are loving this map right now and they can't get enough of it. If you are one of those people, then please comment as to, you know, what changes you like. What would you still like to be different? Do you like some things of the old map better? You know, I need a little bit of input here because I don't want to be just, you know, complaining about something that most people like, because that is the purpose of making changes like this. It's to make something that most people enjoy. If 90% of the community loves these changes and I'm just in the 10% of people that don't like them, I'm completely fine with that. Like, I don't like some maps, whereas I've heard other people say that, oh wow, this is one of my favorite maps. I'm completely fine with that, right? And being in the vocal minority of people that dislike this map. So yeah, please let me know if you like it, if you dislike it, what changes could still be made. Do you just want it to be completely reverted? You know, okay. But yeah, I just wanted to voice my opinion because if I see something that is going the wrong way, I need to say something about it. Especially as a guy who kind of, you know, enjoys making map reviews. Yeah, so I don't know what more to say. I'm just gonna end it there. So like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.